Social media and body image. How do these two things live within each other? How do they kind of affect each other? When we think of social media, we think of Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, these places where you can post yourself in any kind of way, any kind of shape, any kind of form that you want, and see if people look at it. How does this tie into body image and how does this have an effect? Well, body image is something that we think of when we compare ourselves to these people on Instagram who post muscular photos or have the, the hourglass figure that a lot of people want. I think it's really important to note that social media has the potential to promote body positivity, but its overall impact on body image is often harmful because it encourages comparison, normalizes unreal body types, and overall forces people to care much more about their personal image. The first thing that I like to bring up is that social media encourages constant comparison. An article by the Cleveland Clinic, written on July 21st of 2023, wrote that even in the early 2010s, long before the evolution of today's filters and photo editing technology, studies found that people were already comparing themselves and their bodies to others online. In a time where Facebook wasn't evolved, where we couldn't readily use the dog or the hard eyes kind of filter, people were already beginning to compare themselves in the way that they couldn't even control. Another thing I'd like to bring up is that on November 15 of 2022, an article from the Harvard Law wrote that there was a major relationship between Facebook usage and body image concerns, mainly within young women. It's important to note that the standard of beauty and dangers of social media are gender specific. Women are more likely to feel more pressured about all of the things that they need to adhere to and feel to be as complete and normal as everyone else, whether it become through makeup or body image or the way that they hold themselves. These are all things that women are commonly found focusing more than men do. The second point I'd like to bring up is that it normalizes unreal beauty standards. An article from May 2024 by the Ballard Brief at BYU shared that beauty filters meant for humor, comedic effect, and just overall comedic value have created unintended consequences on the health psychologically for modern users. Now, why is this? It's because of all the beauty filters and all of the face tuning and alterations and manipulations that people put on each other. They're now pushing beyond what is physically and humanly possible. People are craving to be different. People are craving to reach a level that is physically not possible to reach. This just continuously brings up raging insecurities and feeling like never being enough. On June 22nd of 2023, the New York Times said that many doctors and researchers say that relentless online adulation of muscular male bodies can hold a toxic effect on young men. What does this lead to? Inadequacy. And what are some common examples that we can think of? Think of six packs, boy band faces, having muscular kind of builds that everyone wants to have as a guy. These are common things that you never realize are bringing your self-esteem down. I mean, me personally, as a person who loves going to the gym, I find myself comparing myself to people who've had before and afters and have had bigger changes than I've ever had. This brings in a kind of insecurity that I didn't realize I had within working out. You would think, even though I work out and try to be healthy and work in towards a good goal, that everything would be good, but inevitably it reaches me down and feel like I'm never going to be enough. Another point I'd like to bring up is that it increases pressure to focus on appearance. The LA Times said during an article from September 11 of 2023 that California legislators are pushing to pass forward a bill that audits social media platforms to stop making harmful usable algorithms, since they influence children to have addictions, low self-esteem, and honestly much more. Passing the bill means that social media companies will be held accountable for their harm that they do to children. I think it's really important for us to begin to notice that there needs to be a focus to be placed on protecting the younger generations and what comes in front of us. The biggest thing that is the noticeable effect is that children nowadays are easily influenced by whatever they see online, by whatever they feel online, the pictures that people post and the way that people will go ahead and carry themselves. The younger generation is only that more sensitive and that much more vulnerable to all these ideas. So I'd like to bring up and finally conclude that social media encourages constant comparison, it normalizes unrealistic beauty standards, and it overall increases the pressure to focus on appearance. So why is this important, you may ask? Well, Understanding the harms to body image from social media can bring a new emphasis on preserving self-value and love within oneself. It's important that we begin to understand that social media is rather a medium for us to express ourselves, but not a medium for us to find a way to compare ourselves. The biggest idea is that we as a society and a world can move towards a direction where we uplift each other rather than finding small cracks within our appearances and our secure values that aren't enough as some other people. So the next time that you go ahead and scroll on any type of social media and you feel compelled to compare yourselves, I challenge you to begin to understand why you do it. Understand deep within your heart if there's something else. If it was never the social media that was the problem, or if there's something that you need to start addressing within yourself. I think social media and body image have some of the biggest ties altogether, but these all stem within oneself. So the next time you go ahead and use social media, be wise, be careful, and especially don't compare.